So Erica, how you doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's good to have you back.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So let's talk about your tumor. Last season we wanted to talk about it, so
Yeah.
we'll talk about it now.
Okay. Um, let's see. The year 2020, when everything was happening with COVID, I did not even know, but I was feeling a certain kind of way. And so, I thought I was going through menopause or anything like that, women wise, inside. And, I was having abnormalities. So I started feeling like something the size of a tennis ball.
Wow, that's
Um,
crazy.
But I thought nothing of it. I thought it was just, me having to, be constipated or something like that. Uh, Nothing was relieving me. And within 2 weeks, that little thing that was like a tennis ball became a grapefruit in 2 weeks of how big it started growing fast.
Can you describe like how?
It felt like a rubbery ball inside of the right side of my gut. And within 2 weeks, it turned into almost like a grapefruit. And then so I was like, okay, this is not me not, going to the bathroom or anything. I was like, I gotta call my doctor and see what's going on. By the time I get an appointment for the doctor, it was another month. And that was because of the delays with COVID.
Wow.
So it wasn't like if they could see me within days and stuff. So here we go, another 32 more days.
Mhm.
Now my stomach is the size of a cantaloupe.
Wow.
So it went from tennis ball to grapefruit. Now it's a cantaloupe in a matter of 8 weeks.
Wow.
Okay, so it was just growing really swift. I didn't know what was going on. I go to the ER, get an emergency x-ray because my doctor appointment wasn't even due at the time. So I was like, nah, I got to be seen as soon as possible. So I go and get the x-ray done. And when they give the results and they tell me and my fiance at the time, like, this is a tumor and
Mhm.
we don't know if it's cancerous. And me and my fiance, we've been chasing each other since we were 16 years old.
Really?
So for 38 years, we've been chasing each other. A
Wow.
long
That's
time
that's
childhood
amazing.
childhood sweetheart. But at that time, he wasn't my fiance. He became my fiance once we got the scare that it could be cancer.
Wow.
So he had proposed to me afterwards. So I tried to ask the ER if they could take care of it, right there on the spot. They were like, no, you have to go to OBGYN. You got to get a professional to do it in that area. We can't touch you like that. So, more of a delay. So now I'm looking for a surgeon. I'm looking for OBGYN. Mind you, I'm going on my second month of growing this thing inside me. By the time I get seen, I was literally like with it growing in 4 months.
Wow.
And in 4 months, I looked like I was 9 months pregnant.
Wow.
Okay. And
So it was like basically.
I was 183 pounds. I was literally really really big. I mean, like I sent you the pictures.
Okay.
You could post the pictures, whatever. I have no shame in my game. I'm a survivor.
Okay. No
So,
problem.
with that being said, when I finally got a surgeon, the surgeon, after me making the appointment, I was supposed to get the operation done in December. So it was pretty much the year of COVID, but December 2020. So then I get a phone call from the receptionist of that surgeon saying, "Oh, well, your surgeon can't perform the operation because your insurance does not comply with the doctor's billings.
Wow.
That I would have to look for another surgeon." So to me, I think it's like a silent gift because that surgeon told me that with that tumor, that if he was to remove it, he wanted to remove my cervix and my uterus. And now, if you remove the cervix, you could lose female pleasures. I want this video to be PG rated, but and I refuse to lose the cervical wall. And he wanted to pull, as he described it, pull that tumor out through that canal,
Oh my God.
and that would rip me. That's like having a birth, but being ripped.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, you're not doing this to me. And he told me that he would have to perform 8 holes on my ribs
Oh my
in
God.
order to put mechanical arms inside. in order to cut and burn the tumor out of my insides,
Oh my
and
God.
then pull it out like a balloon, you know.
Wow.
So, and I didn't like his description of anything like that. So, I went to another surgeon. That surgeon saw me, but 16 weeks later,
Why so long?
because of all the hospitals were closed down for
Mhm.
operations due to COVID, and you wasn't allowed to have an inpatient.
Okay.
So this tumor was literally killing me from the inside. So as it was growing, I was losing all my hair, all my nails, and later on, I started losing more.
Can I ask you a question? So they didn't feel that it was important that that situation
They didn't
wasn't.
feel that it was a priority because with the government and the government shutting down and the government finances, medical coverage, uh, they the doctors were so afraid to even touch me that they didn't even want to do anything radical in fearing of like lawsuits or anything like that. And plus it was such a short time frame, and how radical the speed was of my tumor growing, the speed rate of the growth. So from December to March 10th, which is literally like 90 days later from my first surgeon,
Okay.
on March 10th, 3 months later, uh, so that's another almost 16 weeks, 12 weeks, I get the operation. When I get the operation, before I even had the operation, the doctor told me to make plans with my family that I might not be able to make it,
So he was basically
telling
saying,
me to prepare for my own funeral.
and
And he also took blood from me before the operation because I refused to do blood transfusions from other sources
wow. So
because of the disease of COVID.
how did you feel about this when they gave you that news?
Um, it tore me apart because I'm a single mom of three. Um, I raised them all by myself, so I'm the man and the mother and father. Bring home the bacon, buy the bacon, cook the bacon, provide the bacon. That's how I roll. So for me to tell my kids goodbye and tell them the seriousness of it and prepare my funeral stuff, and I discussed it with my brother, and my brother was broken about it.
Of course.
So I did all that, and I explained to my family, look, I reserved 2 pints of my blood for the transfusion in case I go through something. I said the tumor is attached to my spine, my bladder, my kidney,
Wow.
and my intestines, and they would have to cut and burn everything mechanically and take that whole tumor wall out and remove the tumor. So it was a 9-hour procedure.
Wow.
Um, and in the 9 hours, they prepped me and everything. When I was coming out of recovery and stuff, the next thing I knew is that when I woke up, I had over 18 inches across me from east to west. So the doctor did not put any mechanical arms inside to remove the tumor by robotic measures. He did it himself. So he slit me east to west. I had over 45 staples across my stomach, and my assumption is that he lifted me up like a hood of a car, and he removed the whole tumor and probably took it out, like not like a C-section, but he really lifted me up to take it out of my spinal cord. And on my spinal cord there was no wiggle room. If you slice it a certain way, you could paralyze my
Yeah,
legs
it's sensitive.
or anything because all your nervicals are there.
Yeah.
And not only that, for at least 18 years I have a spinal disease. I have rotatory scoliosis, spinal stenosis, disc degeneration disease, protrusions out my spine, and 3 herniated discs.
Wow.
And I've been on disability for at least close to 20 years. So to have my spinal disability on top of that tumor, my health, my bones are fragile. I'm just fragile. I'm like a little egg. And with that being said, so they operated me for 9 hours, and then after that, when I was recovering, I went on video. I was so lit by morphine. Obviously, you're gonna need the best strength of morphine if you're dealing with something that you feel like your body blew up inside with a grenade.
Yeah, that's a
And
crazy
so,
feeling.
when I told my brother that I made it, I didn't really tell him. My fiance told him, which
Okay.
is his longtime childhood friend as well. That's how we know him. And my brother was more relieved than anything. I'm sure he celebrated my survival. But the hospital didn't keep me for more than 8 hours. So, like, if they operated me 8 o'clock at night, I was already heading home at 7 o'clock in the morning from the hospital. They didn't want me to stay for even a 48-hour evaluation.
Why not?
Um, because of COVID, it was shutdowns, no patients allowed inside hospitals.
Can, can I ask you one question? How you after you went through all that? How
Hmm.
you felt about everything? Like, do you feel like it was a miracle? Did you and
Um,
like how? Let's talk about you and how you felt.
okay. Well, my first initial feelings about it was traveling from the hospital to 45 minutes on the highway to get back home and having everything all burnt inside you and stuff. Uh, it was like agony. I know her personally. Agony became my friend because I've been through a lot of pains in my life, but I actually met her this time around.
Wow.
So that's one thing that I know her very closely, and with that, it took me 5 months to recover. I couldn't eat solid foods because I was afraid to poo, because of the straining. Because if I strained, I would have ruptured any of my organs.
Did they give you medication for that?
They only gave me oxycordones, only enough for the recovery. They
Okay.
didn't give it to me like long term or something like that. But that wasn't even sufficient enough because like I really needed morphine. I felt like a war hero, like when a war hero gets blown up or whatever, and they need their morphine shots in their legs.
Yeah, that's how you felt.
I needed that,
And what?
but I couldn't get it obviously, so I had to be best friends with agony. And so like even to get up to try to pee or to try to eat or anything. So it took me about 5 months to actually take my regular normal steps again to walk out on the sidewalk.
Okay.
um, but within the 5 month recovery rate, then the next experience I started feeling was a lot different
Okay.
because with that tumor it acted like a leech. It was taking away my fingernails, my
Wow.
hair. And then because I lost so much blood for the growth of that tumor and then lost so much blood from the operation, now my body, because I'm a very petite female, my body had blood deficiencies. And with that blood deficiencies and the tumor acting like a leech, it attacked my jaw frame.
Wow.
So after 5 months of surviving this tumor, now I'm losing my teeth.
Wow.
So all of a sudden, one morning, I woke up and my teeth were wiggling like this, like the wall was moving.
And
My jaws,
what did
tops
you
and bottoms.
what did you do?
So I started panicking. I was like, "What's going on with me?"
Mm.
I thought I was healing. And so I went to the dentist immediately to find out what was going on. And when I told the dentist of my recent surgery, the dentist was explaining to me that the tumor also affected my teeth on my jaw frame,
Okay.
that my nerves died in my teeth as the tumor was growing for all those months.
So can I ask you a question? How long it took you to get back to normal?
Okay, it took me about 2 years because it's been 2 years of surgery.
And what
So
steps
just recently.
and what steps did you take like every month or
Well,
you know?
Uh, well, the recovery, it took me about 5 months.
Okay.
I could not exercise or walk around or do strenuous stuff. My first type of exercise was things that were simple, like standing up again and baking a cake real quick in the oven.
Okay.
Small little steps like that until I was able to actually do physical food shopping and whatnot. When I was able to go to the dentist and when they evaluated my jaw frame, top and bottom, he told me he had to extract 18 teeth in one sitting.
Wow.
So once again, agony became my best friend.
You hear that,
This
guys?
this time around, the agony was just imagine a man pulling out 18 of your teeth
Wow.
in one sitting and how you would go home from that. So now I lost the tumor blood, the operation of that tumor blood, and now I'm losing more blood from the 18 teeth because from the 18 teeth I was bleeding 9 hours a day for 3 days straight.
Wow.
So I was choking in blood and just spitting out blood because what he did to my mouth felt like a chainsaw was inside my mouth.
Ouch.
And
That.
now I can't eat nothing because I had raw meat in my mouth.
Oh my God.
Okay, so now I'm eating like mashed potato with no gravy, no salt, no nothing. I'm eating like whatever soft foods that there's no texture to anything.
And that's what's going on right now.
That's what I had to deal with
Oh, that's what you have to
for
deal
the
with.
dentist
Okay.
after he extracted me.
Okay.
And then Then it takes time to heal up your jaws from top and bottom, and then he started forming the molds. Okay, so after they ripped out the 18, now it took me 8 weeks for my gum line to fully heal in order to do a proper fitting of a mold.
Okay.
So I told my dentist, I said, look, I just turned 50 years old. I don't have any wrinkles on my face. I said, I don't want those big, bulky dentures or anything like that. I don't want clunky stuff in my mouth. I was like, I don't care how much it costs, I'll pay it. So then he told me about Valplast. Valplast is very thin veneers, okay, and they hug you smoothly. You can't even tell by the gum line. And he did an amazing job. It cost $6,000, tops and bottoms.
Wow.
Um, so altogether with 18 extractions, if the pulling out extractions is 500 per tooth,
Wow.
so $500 times 18 teeth, that's how much that costs, plus the anesthesia and everything, plus the moldings, and then plus the actual dentures. So my teeth cost at least 35,000. I only paid 6,000 out of pocket. The rest my insurance covered for the extractions and
That's
everything.
good. Amen to that.
So that took at least a couple months for him to mold it, because you got to do the pre-mold, the mold, the waxing mold, and then the fitting. So it's like appointment after appointment, and weeks apart from those appointments. So another year. So after this tumor removal, 5 months of healing, then another year and a half about working with dentures and extractions from my teeth.
So what year we talking about?
Now we're talking about this year. I just
Oh, okay.
finished
So now,
because
okay, interesting.
because last summer I got to see my brother, and I had 15 extractions. But then when I saw my brother, since the last time I saw my brother, I said, Eric, I lost 3 more. So they had to take my molds out, my dentures out, and add 3 more teeth, because 3 more teeth had to go. So
Wow.
it's a total of 18.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
And
how you feel now? Like,
I feel very confident. I mean, like, yes, women, it's very important, to have teeth, because, it's all about appearance, with a man to attract a man, and they don't want a woman without teeth and whatnot. And I didn't want anybody to get the impression that it was like poor hygiene or anything.
okay.
With me, it was a serious health crisis. And the health crisis is either I lose my life or lose my teeth. And so, like, I'm not ashamed of it. uh, the bottoms, the tops. I paid very good money to make sure that I'm well kept, so that way, and they look very similar to what I originally had, of course,
That's
because
good. I'm
he
proud
knew
of
me
you. I'm
before and
proud.
after.
I'm
But
proud. Let's give it up for
it
Erika.
it, it was a rush of my
Yes.
life. I will say that I have an old college friend named Daryl from BMCC, and all my life, he always called me Slugger, and I would always wonder why. And I think I told you from the last
Yeah,
video.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
from the last video. He's like, oh, what you doing now, Slugger, this and that. He'll call everybody else by name, but by me, he always called me Slugger. And I'm like, yo, why you always call me Slugger for? And
Can
he
I
goes, because
answer
you're a
that?
fighter.
Yeah, I was just
He's
gonna.
like,
Yeah.
you always hitting a home run, Erica. Like, I'm a fighter, raising my 3 kids. I'm a fighter with surviving the tumor. I'm a fighter when it comes to when there's murder on the scene and I have to go in and save 5 generations. There's different things in my life that I have no fear about anything. And if I need to save somebody, I would jump just for the hell of it to take care of them before my own life.
Amen to
And
that.
I believe that God really saved me on this one because of how I took care of the next door neighbors.
Yes, I remember we was
And
talking
when
about
that
that.
baby died in my arms, but I saved the other 5 generations. So that's on the newspaper article, May 19th, 1997, I believe. Yeah. And that same year, I was actually pregnant. I didn't know, and I risked my life and my pregnancy just to save that family.
Wow, you see, God
Yeah.
sees the good things
So,
that we do.
oh, he's got more plans for me, I'm sure.
Now,
He
listen, you're
does.
still here.
Yeah, he
You made it
does.
through the tumor. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? So
but
you got
but
something
I'm
going
glad
for
I
you.
got to share that. Women, don't be afraid of how much fight you got to put in. You know,
Yes.
you're not weak. You're very superior. Just push forward. If a man abuses you or anything, don't tolerate it. Have zero tolerance and just bounce. Tell him deuces. And that's it.
That's it.
Handle yours. First love and last love is self love, and that's what it is.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So I'm glad I shared my story.